Hello and welcome back to the channel. And thanks again for visiting NJW 1967 Moto. So, I had a call the other day from a very good friend of mine, Peter. He bought his GS 1300 at the same time as me, only to tell me that he's had a bit of an accident. Seems to have hit a suicidal pigeon, and could he bring it over to me so that I could take a look at it for him and possibly fix it. So obviously I agreed. Yeah, no problem, bring it over, let's take a look. Now, here's what happened to the bike. As you can see from the photographs, it hit the pigeon, quite a big impact. The pigeon hit direct, flying towards him, possibly doing 25-30 miles an hour, and the result was the impact into the base of the headlight. Peter was travelling at a legal speed limit around 60 mile an hour, so this has resulted in a 90 mile an hour impact with what's probably like a, I don't know what a pigeon weighs, probably a kilogram, 2.2 pound. So the damage is quite extensive really, to say a bird's hit it. So I did tell him before he brought the bike to make sure all the debris was off it, so to give it a good wash and a clean down so we could get to the issues. The resulting damage mainly was the headlight unit, the front headlight unit, and the black plastic surround trim that goes around the headlamp. The beak seems to have survived this, probably made of a more flexible material, and I'm not too sure whether in this case whether a headlamp protector would have saved the headlight. The headlamp protector actually mounts behind the black plastic headlamp protector that you can see that goes around the headlight. Now maybe with a headlamp protector of a polycarbonate nature or plexiglass or something, I would think that it probably might have spread the load somewhat, which could have possibly saved the headlight. Even if it had broke the black plastic, and even if it had broke the beak, those two parts are only about 250 pounds, so it was possibly worth sacrificing those two items to save the headlight. This is another reason why I don't use the metal mesh type headlamp protectors. So in this scenario where you've got a heavy impact like this, that would only serve to damage further the headlight behind it, because the metal isn't going to give. Now if you're getting a stone flicked up, fair enough, but yeah, that's my opinion on mesh or steel headlamp protectors. I don't think they actually serve a very good purpose in this circumstance. But like I said, if it was polycarbonate or acrylic, it would have possibly broke the headlamp protector, but it may have spread the load across the face of the headlamp, maybe a scratch or two, but they can be dealt with, you can polish them out. So going forward, having seen Peter's bike and the resulting damage, I will be fitting a headlamp protector to my bike, and there'll be more on that in a future video of how to install it. So let's crack on and get Peter's bike stripped down so we can get some parts ordered. Right, let's get the injured GS stripped down and see what's wrong with it. There you go, right on cue. You can always rely on Dotty, the noisy dachshund. Right, let's start stripping the injured GS down and see what's wrong with it. Nice little bowl to put all the screws in. Take its ears off first. wonder if these will come out without pulling inserts out at panels like they did on mine. Oh, that one has. So you've probably seen from the subject of the video, my friend Peter's had an encounter with a pigeon. Suicidal pigeon. We're just stripping it down now to see what the damage is. To see if there's anything underneath that we can't see. More feathers. And this is the piece they couldn't see on the microfiche. Didn't seem to be. It didn't seem to be there from what BMW could see. But there's more feathers up here, Pete. More corn. Ignition on. You'll have to waggle key about. Screen up. Good action. Just wants, yeah, it wants to just. So I just need to get the screen motor up. Oh no, plenty. Yeah, things don't have to be tight these days, do they? They use Loctite on most of the stuff, so. Back of your radar cowl's full of pigeon as well. Side cuts. That's a bit, I'm hoping there's a part number on that so that we can identify it. Right, so we'll go for the headlight. The £1,449.20 headlight. So I won't be able to put the bike on again once we've taken this out, or once I've unplugged it, because it will give some errors if we do. I'm thinking what's happened here, Pete, is it's smacked it that hard, it's pulled it out of there's a little popper at the top there that holds it to the, and the reason it was wobbling is because that little popper wasn't into its mounting. That, plug it in, pull it out. And there we have £1,490.20. Thank you very much, sir, for that headlight. Absolutely ridiculous. And just see how far that bird's travelled into the bike. Look, there's feathers absolutely everywhere. And there we have it, a GS 1300 with its eye missing. There we go, all stripped down. Need to get some parts ordered now, get it back on the road. Well guys, parts have arrived. So here we go. So the parts have come for Peter's bike. We've got a brand new headlight, and we've got a new plastic headlamp cowling. This cowling here, it's about £40 for that little plastic cowling, which is not, I don't think it's too bad. It's not a bad price really. But yeah, so we're going to put all the clips on that, and we're going to unbox the headlight. So let's have a look at the headlight. So we'll just pan the camera down. So here we go guys, this is the £1,500 LED headlight from BMW. I'll get it out of the box. Put the box to one side. Call it £1,449.20. My advice would be to fit a headlamp protector. Now my bike has already got PPF on the headlamp. I don't think it would have saved it in this situation, but going forward I have got a couple of headlamp protectors on offer, one for my bike and one for Peter's bike, and we'll follow up on that later when they arrive. I'll show you them being fitted and I'll explain to you why I think that's the best sort of idea for a headlamp protector. If this impact did happen again with that headlamp protector on, I'm not saying this particular impact it would have saved it, but it would have certainly spread the load into other areas. It might have saved the headlamp lens. The plastic surround at £40, well, it's 40 quid, guys. It's not the end of the world, is it? You know, so the way I look at it is, even if it damaged the beak, the painted part of the beak, and it damaged the plastic surround, it'd still only cost you probably about £250 for the parts, which, you know, you'd rather have that than have to pay for a new LED headlight. So, right, we'll move on and we'll put the clips onto the surround, and then we'll move on and get this fitted to Peter's bike. So they are the fixings that go to the black plastic surround. Quite simple, really. 2 screw fixings, one goes on there. The other on the other side in the identical location. Then you've got these little metal push clips, tiny little push clips. These are what hold the beak on, and they just push in like so. Quite simple. And then there's 2 more that go to the top that hold the radar pod on at the bottom. That's the securing clips fitted. Then there's just 2 small tie wrap cable guides that clip to the bottom of the unit, just to guide the wires round from the bottom, and one goes to the ambient temperature sensor there that sits at the back of the duct. So they just clip on the bottom here, like so. One there and one there. And all we'll do with that is replace the tie wraps to secure the cables. Simple as that, guys. Quite easy, really. Like I've said before, these GSs are very simple to strip down. They take no time at all to strip them down. Very, very easy. So yeah, right, so we first of all plug in the headlamp, secure the clip, feed the headlamp in, making sure the rubbers don't get trapped, just guide it onto the top mounting, and then when it slots in, we just put these fixing bolts temporarily to stop it falling out anyway. Then there's one little trick we have to do, which involves the top mounting for the headlight. You need a Torx driver, and then when you've pushed it in, you just turn that Torx screw at the top, and that locks it into the ball joint at the top. And that's the headlamp in, other than the fixings. So then 2 Torx 40s on the sides, knit them up, don't have to be over tight. And that's the new headlamp fitted, guys. So what we'll do now, we will proceed to fit the plastic shroud that goes around the headlamp. So before we go any further, we need the ignition on for the bike, and we need to raise the screen. To about mid position. Oh look, the headlight's working. Then it'll allow us the room to get this plastic headlamp surround situated and in place, which just sits there like that very nicely. We'll then get a Torx 25 and we'll secure all the fixings. Remembering not to tighten these up, of course, guys, just leave them fairly slack until you get to a situation where everything's in place, and then you can make sure it all lines up and finally nip it up. Then when you get all your Torx 25s in place, it's all lined up. You can nip them all up then. Just give it a quick rattle, make sure it's sat nice and relaxed, nothing under tension. You can nip them up. So we'll then just fit the ambient temperature sensor, clip that into place, get a couple of zip ties, secure the cables. Them. That's the other one. Trim them off. And that's the headlamp fitted. All we need to do now is refit the beak, put the screen on, the radar dome, and she's good to go. So to fit the radar dome, guys, you do have to turn ignition back on and just raise the screen motor up. We'll just remove the Torx 30s that have just been left loose, holding the nav bracket in place, just to keep it secure while we're doing the job. Another tip here, guys, when you undo your nav bracket, cover your clocks up, just in case you don't be damaging your clocks, because I think they're equally as expensive as the LED headlamp. So just fold your nav mount out the way behind there, like that. Then take your radar dome, pop it up inside there like that. There's two plastic clips at the bottom. They just push in like that, as you heard. You can then remove your cloth, feed your cable back through to its routing position. It can be a bit tricky, but that's it, we've got it there. Then you can replace the two Torx 30s. Hopefully you'll get this done before the bike decides to shut down. Right, so when you get your radar dome in place, you can then turn your ignition back off. That'll let the screen motor go back down, and you can then secure the nav mount into place with the 2 Torx 30 bolts. That's it, that's the nav mount refitted. Oh look what we found here. Another remnant of the pigeon, more feathers. Okay then, let's get the beak on, and then we'll put the push clips in from underneath. Nice and easy to fit the beak on these bikes, much easier than on the 1250s. And then we'll just fit the push clips underneath. There's one. And there's 2. There we have the beak fitted. We'll just pop the winglets back on. They just push in on like a little rubber insert to the side of the radar pod. Couple of Torx 25s in each side. And the other one. Now the screen. First we'll fit the little the ears. Which way around do they go? Like that. No, like that. Yep. Pop them on there. And get the screen. And 4 Torx screws on the screen. Again, they don't need to be tight, these guys, just enough to hold them. Just run them down and give them a final check. So there you go, guys. One fixed 1300 GS, just about £1,600 later for a new headlight and a new surround, but not a difficult job to do, but quite painful, the price and the cost of the parts. But there was no alternative. So the only thing we could do was to buy the proper headlight for it. So and with the cost of insurance these days and the amount you have to pay on your excess, it just wasn't worth claiming on insurance. So there you go, guys. That's a headlight replacement on the new 1300 GS. And now Pete's bike is back on the road. So yeah, I'll hand it back to him and let him enjoy some more miles on it. One thing he will be doing though, he will be fitting a headlamp protector on it, like I've said, and I will be putting one on mine after this, because although in this case I don't think it would have saved the headlamp, but who knows, it could have just made it a little bit easier, couldn't it? Or it could have made the damage a little bit less. So there you go guys, hope that makes sense. We'll turn it on, make sure it's working. Yep, headlamp's on and working. So there we go. I'll give Pete a call and let him know his bike's ready. So that's it for now guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and put your comments down below. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. And if you haven't already done so guys, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.